Welcome, everybody out there in the internet world, to Sis and Big Pop's Culture, the recording of episode 48. As always, I am Big Pops Todd Turner, also known as Mosaic Fan Art, KY Medicine Man. Big Pops, the best guy in the world. There are multiple
There's so many
nomenclature.
Names. There's so many names.
They actually had to come up with a new phylum, genus, and species just for me.
Just for you, Dad.
I know. As always, my lovely co-host.
Hi, sweet friends. I'm Hannah Jo, aka Sis, and together we're an adult daughter and father duo. We dive into all things geek, nerd, and fandom. Every episode is family friendly.
I am excited.
This is we have such cool things to talk about this episode.
I know.
I enjoyed the webtoon that we read.
I know.
It was really good.
This is sort of the kids could watch and do everything we've done today.
The kids
except
could
for maybe some of the streaming stuff. I don't know about that. So
everything so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. So, Hannah, give us the lowdown. What do we do?
Yeah, so we're going to go into some pop culture news, stuff that's happening that we find interesting. We're going to talk about what we're binging right now or what movies we're watching, things like that. We're going to review Pops' pull list. If you don't know what that is, don't stress. We're going to tell you what that is. We also always review a movie and a comic. So today we are reviewing Encanto, which is my favorite movie right now. It came out in December, and I have watched it 7 times. I have a problem. I love this movie so much. So stinking much.
Okay.
And we're also,
I actually told your mom, I said, I could watch this multiple times.
I've seen it 7 times.
Okay, stop. Keep going.
And we're going to also talk about a webtoon. And we'll explain what webtoons is once we get there. Called Batman, The Wayne Family Chronicles?
Adventures.
Is that what it's? Wayne Family Adventures.
Wayne Family Adventures.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
news first.
Well, let's hop into it. Nerd news. This is sort of local news.
Ooh, cool.
For the Lexington Comic Con, Ron Perlman is going to be there.
Who's
as
that?
long as he doesn't back out. Oh, Hannah. Ron Perlman is Hellboy.
No way.
He's the racist captain for the space shuttle that goes up and don't look back or don't look up. It's just a different generation.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Him.
He was in I think one of those Sons of Anarchy. TV series called Beauty and the Beast, which you never saw.
He's got that face. He's got a face that everybody knows once you see his face.
Absolutely. He is a nerd's a friend of all nerddom. We all love him. Yeah. So anyway,
that's cool. I hope he goes.
I hope he doesn't back out.
I saw HBO Max is doing is rebooting Degrassi.
I don't even know.
You have no idea what that is. No. All of my
it was a thing when you guys
kids.
Were. Yeah, there you go.
All of my 90s kids out there, all of my young millennials know exactly what Degrassi is. And they now own all of the older ones too. So my guess is that you're only going to be able to watch Degrassi on HBO Max, and they're revamping it.
Okay.
So I hope it goes well. Because they also are revamping Gossip Girl right now, and I haven't watched it because I'm afraid.
You just don't want to talk about it in front of everybody?
No, I just love Gossip Girl.
You don't want to gossip, girl?
Oh, no.
That's a dad joke.
That was a bad one.
I practiced those. I've been a dad for 26 years. It comes with the territory.
I was going to say, you've never told me that joke before in my life. So if
I've been waiting for 26 years
for this
to say that one. Okay, I know. Cool. Actually, I remember that first Father's Day, and I tucked that away. You know,
we're gonna file
that one back. So speaking of new series that are so Disney's got 3 series in the works that I think we should talk about.
Okay, bring it on.
Real Steel.
No way.
Yeah,
you love that movie.
I like the movie. It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots with live robots. That's what it is.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman ain't going to be in this one, but so that National Treasure.
What?
Not with Nicolas Cage, but it's a whole different group of people. And it's a TV series that they're putting together. And then the Santa Claus.
I saw that.
Now that does
that has Tim Allen.
Tim Allen in it. I think he's like 63, an aging Santa Claus, and he's got to find his new replacement as he tries to transition from being Santa to a retired guy and with his family, and he's got stuff to do because his kids are growing and all that kind of stuff. So those 3 shows are all on daggone Disney Plus. I'm like, wowzer. The thing is that I would probably watch all 3 of those.
Yeah. Nick Cage has this new movie coming out.
He has a new movie coming out all the time.
I am obsessed. I think he's he's so good.
Okay, did you see Pig?
He has it down. I haven't.
Okay, Pig is on Hulu.
Okay.
It's not funny.
Oh, is it bad?
He's basically, the premise is he used to be this famous chef in Portland, and I don't know what happened. I'm only partway through it. And he moves out to the boonies, and he's got this pig that finds truffles, and someone steals his pig. It feels a lot like if John Wick were a chef and had a pig instead of a dog.
I feel like Keanu Reeves and Nick Cage are like they're like foils.
Soul animals?
Yeah. They're like best friends, but they're also foils. Okay, I remembered what it is. The unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yes. I mean, that one looks
so funny.
Wait, is this one, and this one's different than the one where he's got coming out where it's like a ninja movie.
Yeah, it's different from his ninja. That's the movie where he's him.
Oh,
he plays Nick Cage.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he's like
I want to watch
broke.
It. I can't help it. I love Nicolas Cage. I think he's
so good.
The greatest actor of our generation.
Have you seen? Oh man, this was on Netflix, and it's been a while ago.
This came out. News.
I'm sorry, it came out this.
It's okay.
Time
you go ahead and tell
year.
Me.
The history of swear words. It is not for grown-ups. It's for grown-ups. It's for grown-ups, which is why I don't think I ever talked about it on the podcast.
Right.
But it is hysterical, and he's the host.
Speaking of Netflix,
as that. Okay,
wait, Nicolas Cage is the host of that?
Nicolas Cage hosts the history of swear words on Netflix.
He's the host with the most. Netflix is raising their subscription prices.
To how much?
$700. I don't know. I didn't look it up. I just saw they were raising it. And I think that's because they have to pay for 2 new Red Notice movies.
2 more new ones?
2 sequels. Okay,
this is news that I wanted to talk to you about just because it blew my mind. Ben Affleck was interviewed and was talking about how he thinks movie theaters and going to see movies is going to change. This is a direct quote.
Go ahead.
Movies in theaters are going to become more expressive, event-sized. They're mostly going to be for young people.
I don't know.
That's what he said.
I don't know. Listen, I read 1984, and that's when they came out with the feelies, which were like where you would like get water sprayed in your face, and you would have like the bar would and all that kind of stuff. And we've gone that way. If you think of like the attractions at like Disney or other places. I
wouldn't want to do that every time I go see a movie, though.
Yeah, I don't.
Here's what I think. I think he's hurt. I think he's mad that the last Duel didn't do well, and that that the Spider-Man movie did better than the last Duel did. Because as you go on reading the quote, he talks about how it's all of these kids who just are really excited about watching the Marvel movies.
Are you sure that's Ben Affleck and not Ridley Scott?
No, it's Ben Affleck.
Okay, because Ridley Scott was the guy who did the Duel, and isn't that right? Or the Green? Anyway, Ridley Scott came out and basically said it was your generation's fault that his movie did so bad. And
The Green Knight?
It might have been that.
Well,
it might have been Duel. I can't remember. Anyway, I don't know who directed.
But I thought that was so funny.
Funny.
They're mostly going to be, okay, I found it. If I had to bet, a drama like Argo would not be made theatrically now. That wasn't that long ago. It would be a limited series. I think movies and theaters are going to become more expensive, eventized. They're going to be They're going to be for younger people and mostly about, hey, I'm so into the Marvel Universe. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Oh, gosh.
And there'll be 40 movies a year theatrically, probably all IP, sequel, animated.
Here's the deal. Do you remember watching the movie? We watch it every Christmas Eve, the holiday.
The holiday!
And the older guy, talks about how he remembers when there would only be one movie come out. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the way it used to be. They didn't have 18 movies a week came out.
And man, I'm glad to watch movies. I'm glad to watch movies in my home. I'm glad to go to the movie theater and watch movies and eat popcorn.
On a big screen.
Okay.
The big screen.
Bit of Hannah Turner lore for you, our sweet, sweet listeners. The first time I ever went to go see a movie in the theater, it was The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
And I turned to Mom and Dad afterwards and said, whoever thought of this giant TV, it was a very good idea. And that is just how I feel about it still. It is just a very good idea.
Speaking of your favorite Disney films, did you know that there is an anime film called Belle?
No.
Guess what that's about? Belle.
A bell?
You know.
Beauty and the Beast.
The daggone Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, anime. I haven't seen it, but I heard that it's out. I don't know if it's if you can stream it somewhere or not, but yeah, Anime Belle. There you go.
The Expanse might be finished.
This is the last episode.
The last episode I think came out
this week,
which means I can go back and watch from the beginning all of it.
We're going to talk about this in the next segment.
Don't spoil me.
I'm not going to spoil you. I'm not going to spoil. I won't be a rotten raspberry. I got some.
Come at you through this TV.
I got some news and some binging information.
Okay, that's it. That's it for my news. I had HBO Max, Ben Affleck, and
tomorrow, which will be Monday, which is useless.
Monday the 17th.
This won't be. Yeah, the Moon Knight full trailer is going to be released during the middle of one of the playoff football games.
Cool.
So yeah, there's a teaser out right now. I'm all for it. Plus. We'll get into it later. We'll talk about when we get to it. So, Hannah, after we talk news, we talk binging.
Yes. So I am watching West Wing still. Duh.
Still watching West Wing. Okay. And that's it? That's all you got?
I'd watched Atlantis.
What's Atlantis? Oh, like Stargate?
No, Atlantis.
Huh? Oh, the movie.
The movie Atlantis.
Okay, gotcha.
The old
I know, talking the old Disney movie.
Man, it's one of my faves. It's one of my fave classic. It feels to me as underrated.
It is not a classic Disney movie.
It is classic from my childhood.
I was going to say, it has to be before like 1960 to be considered a Disney classic.
Well, it's classic to me. What I was going to say is that it feels like one of those movies that is just really good, but everyone forgets about in the Disney lexicon.
I always get it confused with Treasure Planet.
Because both of those movies bop, and both of them are forgotten, and I love both of them so much. So I watched Atlantis.
Oh, gosh. Awesome.
And there's this, like...
Where can you see Atlantis? Let's tell
Disney
everybody
Plus.
where they can watch these things. Disney Plus, okay. And West Wing?
HBO Max. I'm trying to think. Did I watch anything? Encanto for like the fourth, not the fourth,
but that doesn't
seventh
count because that's what we're going to talk about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I have binged 3 things.
Okay, what'd you watch?
And we're going to hit on them quick.
Okay, bring it on.
The first 3 episodes of Peacemaker dropped on HBO Max.
How was it?
It is extremely adulty. Like, don't have it on in the background where a child could actually fall upon it. Do not do that.
So for sure for grown-ups there.
Oh, not even all grown-ups. Some grown-ups will be offended, I will guarantee you.
Okay.
The thing about Peacemaker is the opening sequence. Because you know how like when a show comes on that you can binge, you can skip the intro? No one should skip this intro ever.
Just watch it every single time.
And matter of fact, go on YouTube and watch it. They put it on YouTube, the intro. It's an entire dance sequence with everyone who's in the show.
Oh, I love that.
And the first time I saw it, I was like, this is hilarious. Ha, 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 ha. Then I read an article. James Gunn was like, yeah, just go back. Just keep watching it. It gets different the more you watch it, because as the show progresses, the show is sort of sad, really. It's hilarious, but the Peacemaker character is is sad, honestly. And if you look at no one smiling during the entire thing. They all look as serious as 100% possible. Even that kid shouldn't watch. There's one little thing that is snuck in that I didn't even catch the first couple times I watched it, but it is there, and I'm sure a smart kid would see it. So, yeah. Anyway.
Right on.
There you go.
Okay, good to know.
Amazing. James Gunn's use of music in his shows is phenomenal. And that is on HBO Max.
Okay.
I watched the first 3 episodes of Boba Fett. We talked about episode 1.
Yeah.
But I've watched the 2nd and the 3rd. Really good. They sneak in another character into the show that is a fan favorite.
Awesome.
And it's because Rodriguez, what's his name? The guy who did Spy Kids is directing. So Machete yes.
Their uncle? I'm not your uncle.
Exactly. No. That was Cheech from Cheech and Chong. It was their brothers. You would see, who he is. When you see him, you know who he is. But I'm going to tell this one little part. Of course, he has Jabba's place. He's taken over Jabba's. And we all know that Luke killed the Rancor.
What's underneath the thing?
He is given a Rancor. Boba Fett is given a Rancor. And you come to find out that Rancors are just like loving pets. Like they imprint on the first human they see and they love them. And they're like extremely sensitive creatures. They're just fighters.
And Jabba is, okay.
So the person who is taking care of the Rancor is Machete. And there's a tease that like the lore of the Rancor is that like even in the I don't know, like the old fiction or whatever that the witches of whatever would ride them. So I think before this
he's gonna ride one.
We're gonna get Boba Fett riding the Rancor, which I can't wait to see.
Sick.
And I watched the entire, not this last season.
You watched all of Expanse?
But the one before that we hadn't seen.
Okay,
the one that takes place.
You watched 6 and 7.
I don't know. Whatever the last one is, it just
haven't finished the one where they go to the thing. Where they go through the ring? Where they go through the rings into the other planet and there's Belters there. I haven't finished that season yet.
So I watched that.
Because that one scary guy started doing scary guy stuff. And I was like, I don't have the emotional energy for this. Stop it.
Okay, so I went back and rewatched that. And then I watched the next whole entire series, which is a little bit bizarre. I mean, the next one is they're all separate. They all separate. But they all come back, except I don't know if you remember, but there was a deal where they had said like the guy who plays Alex Camille, whatever, was charged with Alex, the main driver of the ship.
Oh,
that was like they
cowboy
said
guy.
Like he did The Martian, like he did some, like one of those, the Me Too
Was he taken?
Was
he taken by the Martian Alliance?
No, they got rid of him out of the show. So because of the allegations of sexual misconduct.
He did like bad stuff. Like this isn't
I don't know that it's ever been finished or ever been,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they wrote him out of the show. So they wrote him out and it was the way they wrote him out was good. I'm not going to spoil it, but
okay.
So here's the deal. I wanted to give you this information. So the guy that plays Amos, Wes Chatham,
I
whatever,
like him.
He joined the Navy immediately out of high school or something right around there.
Is he Jewish?
And I don't know, but he joined what's that have to do with joining the Navy?
He has a tattoo
Star of
on
David?
his arm. That's a Jewish word.
Oh, well, Hebrew. It could be just a Hebrew. I mean, who knows? Anyway, that's another story. Your mom asked a lady that she had Jewish Hebrew letters around her neck and she wouldn't know what they meant. She asked the tattoo. Anyway, so the story is he joined the Navy and they filmed a movie on his ship. And he was allowed to be an extra. And after he got out, the people who filmed it were like, hey, we'd like you to try out for this and do this. And that's how he ended up.
That's so cool. Yeah, he has the word
Hebrew,
and he has Hebrew on his arm.
There you go.
I wonder.
Hebrew, yes.
Because I Googled that at some point. because I didn't know. Because I was like, I know what that word is. Why do I know that word?
Okay.
And yeah, that's just
so. Anyway,
that's his actual
what I'm
person
binging.
tattoo.
Okay.
Did you watch Don't Look Up?
I'm halfway through it. It's uncomfortable.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't funny. It was supposed to be a comedy, and I didn't think it was funny.
It's a social commentary, is what it is.
It made my heart sad, and I didn't laugh.
Well, I haven't finished it, and I probably won't.
Okay, well, I watched it.
The guy who plays the Steve Jobs / Jeff Bezos character, the guy who owns the cell phone
he's
company
creepy
or whatever.
As heck.
Yeah, that was the guy who starred. He was one of the stars in. Oh gosh, the movie I loved about where the kid had to go in and save all these things on the video game, Ready Player One. So a lot of big stars in it, but I didn't. Yeah, it's not one of my things.
Fair enough.
I won't finish.
Pull list. What is a pull list, Dad?
Well, a pull list is a list of comics that you give your local comic provider, and they grab from the shelf when they come in, and they're ready for you, and they hand them to you, and then there you go. That's what it is. Usually, if you have a pull list, you usually get a discount on comic books, which is very nice considering they're a fortune. Next week, I'm going to get 6 books that aren't on my pull list.
Because it's your birthday?
We're going to review. Well, because I won't be able to go to my local comic provider. So when we record the podcast, I'm going to do that. I thought that'd be fun. 6 brand new books.
6 new
but this
books.
time I actually
what he's going to do for us.
I'm going to choose 6 books, 2 from DC, 2 from Marvel, and 2 independent titles.
And a book of the week.
I was going to say Batman Urban Legends was my book of the week, but I changed my mind. So so my picture that I did for all these is completely wrong, but
it's fine.
Batman Urban Legends though is an anthology, and there's usually 4 stories in each.
Is this one of yours?
Issue. No, it's not. I'm just going to tell this right now. So if you want, this is a good time to pick it up because all 4 stories are brand new. They start brand new story arcs in all 4 because that usually doesn't happen. And these are all dealing with magic. 4 magical myths featuring. One of them was Ace the Bat Hound, which is really cool. So, yeah. So here you go. My first book. Let's shuffle them around.
Shuffle. What are we going to talk about first, Dad?
The first book is Batgirls, issue 2.
Batgirls?
Yeah.
Plural?
With an S. Batgirls. Yes. Batgirls. So this is issue 2. I'm sure you could get issue 1 if you wanted. It's a fun book. This follows Batgirl, 3 Batgirls, basically. Barbara Gordon has moved into an apartment, and she has 2 of the girls who have been Batgirls, Cassandra Cain and Cassie, I can't remember. She's called the Spoiler. And it is so fun. The art in it is lighthearted and fun, and their dynamics. A lot of times I think, I don't know, it does a real good job of including the teen culture in this book. These are 2 teenage girls.
We love the teen culture.
Yeah, I'm an old fart. And Becky Cloonan is the writer. She's a fantastic writer. There's a lot of good moments in this book. Like there's one part where Dick Grayson is talking to Barbara Gordon. She's on the phone with him, and Barbara's like, "No, I'm not being a helicopter mom," blah blah blah. And he's like, "Yeah, I love you too. I'll see you." But it's funny, very good. The relationship is really good.
Sweet. We love a sweet relationship with a parental figure.
Well, speaking of sweet relationships, one of my books from Image Comics is called Rain, RAIN. This book is an adaptation. Issue 1. This is an adaptation of a short story, a novella, or whatever you call them, written by Joe Hill, which is a horror
comic guy, because Trevin really likes horror comics and he collects all of them. He loves Joe Hill.
Rain is, it's not written by him, but it's adapted from his work.
Okay, cool.
And it is
spooky.
I mean, it's the premise is you have this young girl, and she's in a relationship with another with another girl, and it's the relationship is, they do such a great job of setting up this relationship as one is far away and she's here and they're moving, and then the one girl who's get her inner dialogue. She talks about her neighbors and blah, blah, blah. And so they really do a good job of creating an emotional connection between all the characters in this book.
Okay.
And then what happens is it's like in Colorado, and it is like it's 100 degrees outside. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a storm cloud comes up and it rains crystal shards of like nails, crystals. And it like kills like.
Yeah, it ruins everything.
Yeah, 16 people a second is what the math ended up doing. Because it rained for like 5 minutes. And one of them was her love of her life was trying to get to the house from the car. And
at that point, do you just stay in the car?
She was already out. She wasn't in the car. But they came down so fast. And so I am interested to see where this goes. I've never read the story. But it looks great.
It's spooky. It's kind of sad.
I know. It is.
Like death by like the, there's this Taylor Swift song, Losing You, and it's like death by 1,000 cuts.
Oh, gosh. This was bad. This one was rough. This was definitely not for kids. A good Fantastic Four issue 39.
I'm throwing my pen.
I like this book because it reminds me of Encanto.
I love Encanto. Okay, we'll get there. But what did you like about it?
Franklin Richards was like at like age 6 was the most powerful being he created a pocket universe and saved everyone at that age. And now he has no powers in the midst of a family who all have powers. Man. Which very Encanto-ish. Anyway, so this whole deal was there is a custody battle going on over a child who is living with the Fantastic Four. And then what happens is the lawyer, the other guy, is basically calling into question the parenting abilities of the Fantastic Four. So it is this issue deals with the six faces of Franklin Richards. So they basically talk about all the different people that Franklin Richards has been, and his going to therapy, how it's helped him going to therapy and everything. So
therapy helps everyone.
It was great. I loved it.
Well,
my last independent is also an Image title, and this is Department of Truth issue 15.
Hey.
So this was interesting into the fact that
15.
Issue 15. So the Department of Truth basically is they are going out and debunking things that are because here's the deal. In this world, if enough people believe something, even though it's not true, it becomes true, manifests itself. So in this issue, it's talking about the very beginnings with Lee Harvey Oswald and the guy with the tinfoil hat, and how Lee Harvey decided he wanted to create
the Department of Truth.
Not Department of Truth. He wanted to put enough something out there so that something would become real. He wanted to create one of the myths to bring it into existence so that he could capture like a UFO. So he wanted to create UFOs in order to capture.
In like the 60s and when everybody was 50s and 60s.
But instead he wasn't specific enough.
Oh no.
Monkey Paw wasn't specific enough and created this character that is through there's mythos about. No, it's called Mothman. Go look it up. It exists. Yeah. So instead, he was trying to create flying saucers. Instead, enough people thought flying creatures and created the Mothman became a real creature. So really cool. This is not a traditional comic book.
Mr. Oswald.
It's not traditional. So there's not panels. There's a lot of writing. It basically looks like a transcript. It's like a transcript of an interview.
Oh, sick.
And but there are like giant open, like if you open it'll be a giant spread of 2 pages of a picture, and then the rest would be like redacted stuff and then transcripts.
That's so fun. I love that. We really like Department of Truth on this pod.
I do. I like it. It's good. It's a thinker. That's for sure. It's for adults.
We found an issue 1 because Trevin is collecting all of them. And we found an issue 1. It's variant cover A.
Oh,
so
I don't know what that is. But
it's the first variant cover of issue 1. But at your comic book store, they had an issue 1. It was $150.
What?
It was $150 for issue 1. of Department of Truth.
Gosh.
Like the
I ought to
original
quit
cover.
just tossing it around.
It expends like because it's 150 books for the first cover.
The OG cover.
For the OG
Gotcha.
cover of issue 1. But we found the variant cover, and I think he paid like $10.
All right.
But paying 150 versus 10, I'd rather pay 10.
It's a big difference.
It's the same book.
So my last DC book is called Detective Comics, issue 1048. This is a little bit of a bummer because Detective Comics is weekly for the next 12 weeks.
1048?
Yeah, 1048.
That's so many comics.
Well, that's where Batman came from, Detective Comics.
Okay.
Yeah. So now Batman has left after Fear State. He's gone, and it's basically the entire Bat family. And what has happened is, so this is the second issue of a 12-issue story inside of a comic.
Okay.
And so Arkham Asylum has been destroyed.
Oh, no.
And now they've created Arkham Tower in the middle of the city. What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing about that. Is it all bad? Everything is going to go great.
Absolutely horrible. So all of the Bat characters are involved except for Batman.
Uh-oh.
The cover of Detective 1048, it looks like it has Harley Quinn on the cover, but you come to find out it's another character who thinks she's Harley Quinn inside Arkham Tower. So there's a guy running the tower that is got all of these villains that are all laid back. They're on a new type of medication. This isn't going well. The funny part was Mr. Freeze was walking to go get himself an iced latte. I thought that was funny. But
man, these people.
I really enjoy the story, and a lot of these will have backup stories, and I don't much care for those.
But you enjoyed them on this one? That's fun.
I do, because it's about a little boy who saw a battle between Batman and the Joker, was rescued from that, and came away from that with a skewed view of Batman and the Joker. So I believe that kid is the guy who's running Arkham Tower, and it's going to be a disaster. Yeah. So my last Marvel book is issue 4 of Dark Ages, which is written by Tom Taylor, the guy who did Deceased that I love so much. He's also doing Nightwing and Superman, Son of Kal-El.
Yeah.
And so this is the Marvel Universe when there's no electricity. And because of a character that was running it's like a doomsday machine in the center of the planet, and Doctor Strange created a huge EMP to destroy him, but the character killed him before he could stop the EMP. So there is an eternal EMP in the center of the planet. And this is good guys versus bad guys, and all that jazz. It's a lot of fun. Dark Ages. Jazz. You get to see they repurpose a helicarrier because you can't run a helicarrier because you don't have electric. It's got huge sails on it, and they use Aurora. Storm is like the captain of the ship because she has to create the wind to move this massive ship.
Oh, that'd be exhausting.
So it is so cool. Interesting. Good book. It's a fun book.
Cool.
I enjoy it. Although anybody can get killed in it. So you just know that right now.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out, ladies and gentlemen.
Axed. So my book of the week.
Yes. Book of the week. It's the book of the week.
The book of the week.
Book of the week.
Is a Devil Reigns tie-in. So Marvel's got this thing going on called Devil's Reign, where Kingpin has outlawed masks in his city. And in the city of New York, because he's the mayor of New York. So he is
you're not allowed to be I can't wear. Okay.
You can't be hero. Or if you do, you get thrown in jail. Blah, blah, blah. So they did this which was sort of like what Civil War was or whatever, like people had to register or whatever. So, but now he's not the president or anything, but he is the mayor of New York, and he's outlawed them in New York City. And that affects Spider-Man, the Avengers, Fantastic Four. So
they don't wear masks.
They took over the Fantastic Four building, and Kingpin gave it to Dr. Octopus.
Of course
to get him so that he could get him to use he wants Doc Ock to do something for him with all of Reed Richards' stuff.
Of course he does, because of course.
Okay, this is called Devil's Reign Superior 4, Issue 1. Anybody who is a comic book fan for any time knows that at one time, Dr. Octopus was Spider-Man. He took over as Spider-Man. Regular people don't know. Comic people do. And the comic book was called The Superior Spider-Man. So,
oh, no. So you're thinking that's what this vibe is going to be.
This is Superior 4. So he now has the Fantastic Four building. He's using the Fantastic Four's gate that allows them to go to different multiverses and different planets or whatever to create his own Fantastic Four that are really all different iterations of Dr. Octopus. The cool thing about this is, I've told you about this before, how back in the 80s, they did a thing where the Fantastic Four was gone and they had to take 4 characters to be the Fantastic Four. And it was like Ghost Rider, the Hulk, Spider-Man, and like Wolverine, right? So there is a Wolverine Doc Ock, a Hulk Doc Ock, a Ghost Rider Doc Ock, and then Dr. Octopus.
No.
Yes. And they are going.
So silly.
It is great. I know it is such an homage.
So
and still
funny.
But what ends up happening is what you're finding out is that Dr. Octopus is using this gate and going and killing every version of himself and taking all of their knowledge. So he sucks out all their knowledge out of their noggin and then they die.
Spooky.
So he is going to be Octopus Prime, I guess. I don't know. But the cover is really cool because it's got 4 Dr. Octopuses in a row. And underneath it says 614, 615, 616, 617. For those of you who follow
because
comic
we're
books,
Earth 616.
616. And the Dr. Ock of our Earth is under the 616. So, but
that is silly.
I can't wait to see where it goes. That's it.
So funny. I love it. I love it. Okay.
That's my comic books. Hannah, let's talk Encanto.
Oh, I love this movie.
First of all, where is Encanto and where can we watch it?
So Encanto is on Disney Plus. It was in theaters. It might still be in probably not. It's probably not in theaters anymore. Mm-hmm. It takes place in Colombia and it follows this family and it is 3 generations living in a house, and they live in an enchanted house because they were their home. They were fleeing their home. They were refugees, and they were fleeing their home. And then it's abuela and abuelo. Abuelo.
It means grandma and grandpa.
Grandma and grandpa. Grandma and grandpa. And grandpa was lost, and in his sacrifice, they received a miracle.
When that happened, they were not grandma and grandpa. They were husband and wife with 3
kids. They had triplets. And so
2 girls and a boy.
He was lost. And that day, she received their miracle. And the miracle created their house. Candle. It created a safe space for them to live in. And it gifted the family with powers.
Mm-hmm. And when they come of age, they leave the nursery and go and open a door, and they get their power.
They get their gift.
Their gift. They call it a gift. And the gift helps the community.
Helps the community, makes their family strong.
Yes. And what happens is, I don't even know the girl's name.
Mirabelle.
Mirabelle, when she was 5, goes to open the door, and the door disappears. She does not receive.
A
gift per se. Right. But so the 3 children that the abuela and abuelo bring are 2 girls and a boy.
Peppa, Julieta, and Bruno.
Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. So, the 2 women, they grow and they get married and they have children. So Mirabelle has 2 sisters. Mm-hmm. And
Louisa and
yes, and
Isabella.
Their powers are
flowers
the 2
and
daughters,
strength.
Flowers and strength. But
Her
she doesn't realize the extent of her power. Mm-hmm. The girl with
it's so good.
So hold on. So then the other daughter has 1 son. Correct. That's it.
No. Louisa has 3 kids. They each have 3 kids. Peppa and Julieta each get married and they each have 3 kids. Julieta has 3 girls.
Oh, yeah.
And Peppa and Felix have 3 kids. They have 2 boys and a girl.
Okay.
Dolores.
Oh, yeah, because wait a minute. One boy can change. Oh, yeah.
Camila.
One boy does the animals. One boy can change how he looks. And the other girl can hear everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I get you. So 3 and 3. So it's all 3
and 3. 3 and 3.
I didn't realize that.
Except Bruno, but we don't talk about Bruno. So
we don't talk about Bruno. Bruno is the brother who disappears, and you don't even realize who Bruno is if you watch the movie for the first time until midway through the movie. So, explain what happens in the movie, Hannah.
So this Mirabelle is middle in the family. No, she's not. She's the second youngest. Mirabelle is the second youngest, and she didn't receive a gift, and so she has she doesn't understand why she didn't receive a gift. And then
but she's not bitter.
She's not bitter. She works very hard to be a part of her family, and she very much loves being part of her family. She's part of the Madrigals, is that what their family, the amazing Madrigals. And she her little cousin ends up getting a gift, and then she has to Antonio. I call him Tonito. It's so cute. And he what ends up happening the night that he gets a gift, she has
a vision.
She sees that there's cracks that are happening in their house, in their casita. And their house is alive because of the gift. And so she goes on this quest and a journey. Did you notice this? The journey she goes on is in their house. All of her
it's all in the house.
All in the house. She goes.
Everything takes place in the house
because it's a family story. Everything that happens is about family dynamics, and she goes on a journey and learns about family trauma and family history that people don't talk about, and family secrets, and learns about stuff that's going on behind the scenes that nobody talks about in her family, and eventually. Are we spoiling it? Are we talking about everything that happens?
This movie's been out since November. It was the end of November, actually.
Okay. Yeah, because it came out.
Watch the movie and watch it with your family. It's a great movie. Go ahead, Hannah.
In it, the house eventually crumbles, and she runs away because the whole thing is Abuela has created this system of perfection that no one can emulate in order to keep them safe. Because, she's a refugee and lost her husband.
She doesn't exactly.
She experienced some pretty severe stuff when she was very young and had to forge a new life for herself.
3 babies, raising 3 children by herself.
I can't even. The costuming in this is phenomenal. Did you notice that?
You can't say costuming because it's a cartoon.
So, but the color theory and the costuming, it's a big deal.
Yes, that was great. Yes.
The color theory in this is phenomenal. Did you notice that Isabella Isabella and Abuela were the same colors? Isabella's the flower girl.
I didn't know. Gotcha. No, I didn't notice.
Because Julieta's side of the family wears blue. And then Peppa's side of the family wears yellow. And Abuela wears purple, and she has a black shroud that she wears. And that's
because she was she's a tough exterior. I didn't much care for her.
That's her putting on her. That's her putting on her armor. Is her black shroud that she wears. And Isabella.
Bruno was green, wasn't he?
Yeah, and green is the family people that can see. That's the whole green is and so if you notice, Mirabelle's glasses are green. Gotcha. So she's able to see what's going on because Bruno's eyes turn green when he sees the future. Because we do end up talking about Bruno. The music in this bops too. Oh my goodness, I'm being
and here's the deal. I've sat here and it took forever to get through the tag on credits, and I was like, "This has got to be it's Lin-Manuel.
It's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Of course it was, and his name popped up at the end, which was funny.
But the color theory is awesome. The music is phenomenal.
Did
you watch it with subtitles?
That it came out when it came out. No, I didn't need to. I could listen.
There was. I didn't. So I watched it in theaters. What do you mean it's sad it came out when it came out?
It's sad that people I think if this had come out when everyone was going to the movie theater, that this would have had a huge.
Oh, it would have. It would have. And it's still, I feel to me, has blown up.
It is a Latin American cast for. I mean,
it's phenomenal.
It is like, it's like having a superpower in a family. Like everyone has powers, but you don't, you know? And when no one has superpowers, no one is special.
But
yeah, when everyone has superpowers, everyone is special. Syndrome. So yeah, and how she's treated by her family for not having powers. But I think a lot of thing it does is it really broadened the definition of what their powers were. Like, you know, the one sister who was so strong,
Louisa.
Yes.
I'm the strong one. I'm not nervous. Surface pressure. That's her
and
song.
Her eye twitches when she's nervous.
And she dances with the donkeys.
Yes.
Makes me so happy.
And how the one sister who we just thought just did flowers,
Isabella,
was able to, after she comes to grips about everything that who she is and what she really wants out of life,
she gets to be whatever she
create
wants.
More. Like cactus and beautiful colors coming out of this stuff and everything.
The whole like thought there to me was, well, she did what she was told that she was supposed to do.
Yeah,
she was supposed to be the perfect girl that made everything pretty, and so she made roses. She made what Abuela wanted her to make.
She made cacti, and I thought it was gorgeous. It was beautiful the way that did that.
So
did you catch the Doctor Strange? The Doctor Who?
It's bigger
reference?
On the inside. Hysterical.
That was hilarious. I was like, is that on purpose? Was that on purpose? It's got to be on purpose.
Man,
yeah.
It was a really cool. You didn't watch this in the theater, so what happens? Anytime you go see a Disney movie in the theater, there's a short beforehand.
Oh, I didn't see the short.
There's a short that goes along with it.
But I'm going to here to tell you this right now before you talk about that. Na, 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 when the music comes on and the thing goes over top the daggone Cinderella's castle, you're like, yeah, there you go. And then the Steamboat Willie thing. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, we're sitting back for this one. So anyway, go ahead.
But
what was the short?
The short was two raccoons, and it very clearly states up, we're going to tackle generational trauma in the next hour and a half.
Oh, really? Because of that? That's a good setup for that.
It's a very good setup. So it's this little raccoon and his mom, and they go out on this beach, and the raccoon mom is like missing, like half of their face is like scarred. Because got attacked by a seagull or something. A creature attacked her. And so this little baby raccoon, Dad, this is serious.
Seagulls, stop it now. Sorry, seagulls. The log had a child.
But the baby raccoon is just like, oh, this is a new place and there's so many cool things to do and I want to see all of it and let's play and do all of these different things. And then
the mom raccoon's, no!
It's wolves. A wolf comes and gets the baby raccoon. Wolves. And then the baby raccoon. And then it's like,
talk about wolves in Station 11.
Years later, the baby raccoon is now the mom, and the mom raccoon has their own little baby, and they go out, and the mom starts treating the kid the same way that they were treated when they were at the beach because, hey, I have the scar on my face, I don't want you to get hurt, and then like remembers, oh wow, but I really loved being here and doing these things. Here, come, let me teach you about like why I got this scar and how you can be safe, and let's play together. And that was like what the
Gotcha.
And so it really beautifully set up like, hey, we're going to talk about what and didn't even like have any words, but I was like, ooh,
gotcha.
This is about generational trauma. We're just going to learn all about this. This
is gonna be great. And there's a lot about that in that in the Encanto movie. Man. One of the saddest things in that movie was the fact that Bruno could see the dinner table and has a table with his little spot there so he could have dinner with his family. He just wanted to eat with his family. Even though he couldn't be with his family. I was like, this is just so sad.
Brutal. It was brutal.
I know it.
Dolores is sitting there talking about how she can hear him. Did you notice that in the song?
No.
In the song, she's like, I can hear him now. do you understand? Like, it's like saying, like
Oh,
literally was
gosh.
like, hey, Bruno had a gift that no one understood, left everyone stumbling, and they kicked him out. Do you get it? Do you get that that's what you are? Like, do you get it? And then it's like, I can always, she literally said, I can always hear him sort of muttering and mumbling. I associate him with the sound of falling sand because he's throwing salt over his shoulder every 5 minutes.
And because he's superstitious.
And she can always hear him muttering and mumbling because he's living in the walls of the house.
Some of the songs were so fast, it was hard to understand them. Sort of
that's why
like
I
Into the
asked-
Heights. Remember how I had the issue with Into the Heights?
That's why I
couldn't
asked about
follow
the
all music.
subtitles because
Well-
I watched this in theaters, and the song when Abuela is sharing about like what actually happened when she had to leave
at the
her
end.
home at the very end, that song is like called Two Caterpillars. But it's sung in Spanish, and so I had no
Right.
idea what was happening. It was very
know
beautiful.
what-
I didn't know
yeah.
what was happening
I
because I,
didn't
don't speak
understand it either.
Spanish. But if you watch it with subtitles, it like
They say what are
says
the
it
words?
says what it is in English. I wept.
You
I
weep all the
just
time.
Lost
I cry.
It. I
cry
lost
too,
it.
so.
And the animation on her face, on Abuela's face, is so sad.
So this is a Disney Animation Studios. This is not Pixar. So this is Disney Animation, and it's probably one of my best
Man.
ones. It's one of my. I'll watch it over and over again, easy.
I love
It's
it.
good. Yeah.
And the music is so good. Ugh. Okay. I just loved it, Dad. I'm so glad you watched
Hannah,
it.
How do you feel not having a superpower in the middle of living in a family? I'm just kidding. That's not
none
funny
of
at
us,
all.
None of us
I
have
think-
superpowers.
I think every one of us could feel like her sometime.
Yeah.
Like I don't fit in with this family for this reason, or I don't fit in with the family for this reason, or I'm different from everyone because of this reason. Well, those reasons are, the love of a family supersedes whatever you're thinking of that, but it's hard to reframe your thoughts on that.
And man,
But I love that she didn't give up.
she had such strength. And you could see
Yes.
it from like the very beginning because Antonio is walking up to get his gift, but he's
Yeah.
afraid to go. And he's like, I can't
And
do it by myself. You have to come with me.
He wants her. Yeah.
And she's like the
I can't
last
do
time
it.
I walked this way, everybody looked at me and I was a disappointment. And so now you want me to walk with you in front of all of the people who know I'm a
Yeah,
disappointment?
because what happens if it doesn't work? It's
And
my
what happens
fault.
if it does work? Because then
Yeah.
the magic didn't pick her. And so why didn't she get picked?
It's because she didn't get the right doorknob. And we find that out later on at the
Man.
end of the movie.
So good.
She does have a gift.
So good. She does.
It's
I read a theory that
relationships.
her gift is opening doors, which is why she
Wait,
didn't get.
where did you read this theory? TikTok?
Yeah.
How did I guess? Her gift is opening doors.
Her
or
gift is
leading
opening
people-
doors.
Gotcha.
And so she
Yeah.
is like opening walls. And so she didn't need.
Yeah, that's whatever.
I know. I'm still mad she
TikTok.
didn't get a gift. She should have gotten a gift.
She does have a gift.
What is her
The house-
gift?
It created that entire home. She is the glue that fills the cracks. And that was something else. Bruno's been fixing the cracks in the house all this time without people knowing.
And that guy, the guy who's in Bruno is also in. He is in Ice Age, is in Chef, is in Moulin
don't know.
Rouge.
I don't know. The guy who plays Bruno?
Who is
I don't
he
know who
in?
it is.
Who was he in this movie?
It
He
doesn't
was
matter.
Sid.
We'll look it up.
He was Sid in Ice Age. The guy who plays Bruno.
Leguizamo?
That's Bruno.
Really? What's
Yeah.
his name?
John.
Something. John Leguizamo. He, if I'm not mistaken, is writing a comic book currently.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So I didn't.
Well,
but
I mean,
anyway.
you don't have to buy it if you don't like it, but cool for him.
You'll
to
get a
try
kick out of
something
this. This is since we're pretty much done talking about Encanto. One of the books that I got was Undiscovered Country. I've talked a lot about it.
Yeah.
And in Undiscovered Country, they were stuck in this like the land of possibility, and they had to create a new American masterpiece. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And so the guy created it, his masterpiece, and then they decided they were going to do something totally different. And they go, "But you spent all this time." And he goes, "I basically just ripped off Hamilton." And he throws it into the water. And actually, yeah, that was funny. That was a Hamilton
funny.
reference in Undiscovered Country.
Well, a whole thing, I'm on Encanto TikTok pretty hard right now. Like pretty hard. Like a lot of people
I
like
don't even do
cosplaying
TikTok.
and like stuff like that. Like I'm chef's kiss here for it. Love
All
it.
right, whatever.
And there's a lot of mashups of Hamilton and Encanto. And next
Well,
time I
I
get
can
one,
see
I'll
why.
send it to you. because it's
because
hysterical.
of that. Yeah. All right. So Encanto. So how many magic doorknobs would you give this?
6 out of 5.
Oh gosh, that's your gift, Hannah. Your gift is giving more, like going above and beyond the prizes you can give.
Just like, I'm just gonna watch it over and over again.
I do. I'll give it a 5. Easy. It's 5. It's probably the best Disney film I've seen in a while.
Time.
Yeah. By far it is. I'll grant you that.
Best original. Woo, like I'm here for like Frozen, but like best like.
And it's for all ages.
Mm-hmm. I'm almost 27 years old, 26 years old, and I'm just like straight loving it.
Gotcha. All right. So Hannah and I also read a webtoon.
A webtoon.
Explain what webtoons is, Hannah, for those of people who don't know what they are.
Webtoons is an online a web comic service platform.
It's not it doesn't cost.
It doesn't cost anything.
There is some that you can pay for.
You can download the app and you can like pay for it, and you like get comics early and stuff like that, and like get to like talk to the creators and stuff like that, kind of like Patreon. But it has a bunch of different types of comics. They like have different genres and different like maturity levels for the comics, and they come out weekly. So one of my favorite comic is called Lore Olympus, which I've talked about on the podcast.
Right, you've talked about it multiple times.
And it is on mid-season hiatus of season 2.
Gotcha. Understood.
So they just had the season 2 finale, and she's on a 4-month hiatus because you have to come out. Webtoons is every week.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Webtoons is weekly.
It's like the daggone Detective Comics right now is weekly, but
so we read. Yeah, is it affiliated with DC?
It is. It's DC. They created it specifically for webtoons. It is Batman Family Adventures. Speaking of dysfunctional families and family trauma,
Batman Wayne Family Adventures.
Billionaire have 1,800 orphans in his house. And
it was really sweet.
It is sweet. This is not your traditional Dark Knight. This is
just Batman's kids.
It is even Jason Todd, the Red Hood,
He's
and
there.
Damian Wayne, who's a turd in the comic books, still has a little bit of an attitude. You can tell that
he's a turd,
but he's not. They're not mean or cruel or anything like that.
They're just fighting over cookies and doing one-headed handstands.
Yes, and it's made directly for your phone. You can just swipe up, and it continually goes. It's perfectly made for your phone, or I guess you could use it on iPad.
Well, all webtoons are like that. All webtoons is you don't swipe pages, you just scroll.
Gotcha.
All webtoons are scrolled like that. You scroll up or down.
This is middle school and up. Easy. I mean, little kids wouldn't like it because it.
You might have let me read this when I was in 5th grade or 6th grade. Yeah. Like, I don't think, because that's when I started reading comics, was about that time.
Gotcha. Yeah. And so this is the same deal. It comes out, I think there's we read the first 10 episodes, the web.
And it was like candy. I could have kept going.
I know, it's really fast. Goes
it was
quick.
just really fast, and it was really sweet. And they all were like individual stories, except one. One kind of was 2, or 3. Where that guy was dating that girl.
He liked the girl, and then they broke it off at the end. Yeah. Duke is that character's name. So this it's a fun little thing that you might want to check into if you're new to comics or want to find something that you think a family member might like. I believe you can search by age.
You can search by age range. I would encourage, if you are going to let your kiddo
be careful
read,
because
I would always be on the website with them.
Yeah, because there are some adult stuff on there.
There are some my favorite comic is for grown-ups.
Yeah.
Just because it talks about some adult themes, not because it's like grotesque or nasty or anything like that. It's just there are some grown-up stuff that happens in the comic. So I would check on it.
It's cute. Other than that, it is good for kids. It's a fun little thing to introduce into. I bet you, Hannah, you didn't realize all those characters were in Batman, did you?
The thing I really liked about it is that they had these like AKAs on it. It was like,
yes, they have little blocks that told.
here's this person's name, here's their alias, here are 3 funny things about them.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Barbara Gordon as Oracle was hysterical. Yeah. When she was getting lunch with Commissioner Gordon, and her little episode was very, very funny.
Yeah.
I thought that one, one and the cookie one was my favorite.
Yeah.
The one where they fought Alfred's over the last cookie was very funny. Good.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. The webtoons.
I really enjoyed it. I was reading, on every webtoon, there are 3 highest liked comments. And there was one comment that I thought was really funny. It was like, here's the Batman slice of life comic book that I've been waiting for, and it's for free on Webtoons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spot on.
And if you like that kind of stuff, and if you have HBO Max, they have a audio podcast. It's not this. It's a little bit. It's Batman Audio Adventures. It's still more family friendly than I would consider the comic book, but yeah. So there's that on HBO Max.
Man, it was really sweet.
It was sweet. It was good.
Sweet to read. And Alfred was funny, and all of the characters were funny. Yeah, it's
good because Alfred's not around in the comic book anymore.
Can't say that to me, Dad.
I know.
It's my childhood. Nathan, pretend Nathan coming up. Would you like some tea,
like some more tea, sir? No, thanks, Alfred. I'm good. Thank you. Go check that out. It's probably on YouTube.
Oh, man. I don't know where that's at on YouTube.
I guarantee it's on YouTube.
Let's not tell people about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's on YouTube. You should see it. It was funny. In our basement. Yeah. So there you go. That's all. Oh, hey, I finished Station 11. It's done now.
It's done?
So it's done. The whole story is finished. So if you want to watch it from beginning to end,
have to watch it.
I started watching it again today. I got
Guess
through
what happens?
3 episodes. What?
Semester starts tomorrow.
Yep, school. That's all right.
So we'll see what I get up to.
We'll see. There you go.
Might be nothing.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining in on this adventure as we near the half-century mark. Woohoo!
Isn't that wild? So I one of my very good friends, her husband has a podcast, and he says that it's like less than 15% of podcasts that start make it to 50 episodes.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. They do it because those people are like, hey, we're going to make money and become gazillionaires and ultimate so famous. And we're like, yeah, we're just talking about nerd stuff that we both like. So we don't really care who listens, although we do care. We have 2 viewers. We're currently right now live, and we love you, viewers. You're the best. That was me looking at my phone, noticing that we have 2 viewers.
LOL.
But
the only comment we have is you commenting, "This is awesome," which I'm just going to LOL about that for a minute.
I thought that was the best.
It's funny.
But few. Everybody else is. Hey, give us the end roll.
Cool beans. Hey, friends, thanks for hanging with us for this past hour or so. We're glad to spend some time in your earballs chit-chatting with you. Our intro music is composed, created, and played by Brockwell Nason. Thanks for doing that for us.
Brock, you're awesome.
Check him out any place you listen to music, on Apple Music, on Spotify. He has some cool bops up there. You can check him out, Brockwell Nason.
Cool bops.
Our art is made by Nate Turner. He made that on Microsoft Paint, which is pretty cool, man. So
pretty cool. I'm sorry, I'm just doing that over and over again.
Thanks for doing that for us, Nate. I edit and maintain our podcatcher website thingy, and Daddy does the YouTube videos.
On occasion.
We're killing it, pretty much.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah, there you go. So anybody listening and you want to be like maybe our amazing guest on episode 50, hit us up.
Yeah, those HBO execs, the 6 HBO execs
BT Dubs,
that listen
I didn't tell you
to
this.
us.
That the creator, the guy who's currently writing Fantastic Four, liked my Instagram.
No way! Yeah. That's Dan so cool.
Slott. That would be cool.
That Invisible Woman is dope.
DM him. Hey, would you like to be on our podcast? What do you think he would say? No response.
No.
Crickets.
Just ghosts you. I mean,
but it's not ghosting when I've never even met the guy, but I would love to have him on. That would be fantastic. Anyway.
Well,
folks,
I love you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Hannah, I love you too.
Thanks, sweet friends.
And until next time, we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
Bye.
Flippity flop. Bye, guys.